Access granted.
What is up? Alright, so in this video I'm gonna show you the course outline. So basically there's gonna be two main sections in this course. The first one, which is the most valuable for manual and automation QA, I mean both of these activities. And in the second part we're gonna focus on the automation QA practice. Now let's see in more detail for each part. I wanted to avoid theory as much as possible, but you know, you cannot do it completely, so we're gonna start like from the essence of testing from my perspective. And it's not gonna be like, you know, this mainstream essence of testing which you can see all around the internet, which is like checking the, you know, that the actual result is the same as expected results and all that bullshit. Not like that. I'm gonna tell you why testing is not really about testing, which might sound strange at first. But believe me, because personally I think that you must be interested in some form, sort of, you know, field of activity in the real world, which brings some real value to people. It all starts from there, and then you go deeper into the specific parts of that process, or of that sphere, whatever you want to call it. So there must be a specific field of activity which really like resonates with your being, you know, with, I don't know, I'm not even afraid to say that, which resonates with your soul. You have to have that field. You have to find that field and feel it, and then dive into it. Then we're gonna talk about our users, because our clients are our users. QA, from my perspective, is somewhat of an actor, you know? An actor who goes into the end user's skin and tries to think like an end user. You know what they say, if you want to catch a criminal, you gotta act like a criminal. So the same approach applies here. We're gonna speak about different details of our end users and how we can communicate and interact with them to get better results in order to strategize our QA approach. So, know your user, know your client. We're gonna speak about typical project roles within the team and how these roles, well, you know, these people interact with each other. We'll see through the SDLC process, which is the software development life cycle. You cannot run away from that, you cannot turn away from that, because that's the essential. This is the foundation of everything that we are delivering, of how we are getting money. So from my perspective, this stuff has to be user-oriented. We're gonna touch different software, so to speak, different programs that are commonly used to interact with different project parts or services. So what's been used for communication? Where do we store our tickets and bugs and defects? Where do we store our documentation? Which test case management system do we use? Some software for API testing. I don't even have enough fingers here on my hand to show you everything, you know? So yeah, database clients. What do we use for code writing? Specifically about the code writing part, we're gonna touch that to its fullest when we're gonna go through the automation part. I'm gonna show you how to test the requirements with real-life examples, how to create test cases based upon the requirement, and how to get the requirements as well. Of course, we're gonna touch the ChatGPT as an essential helper throughout our work process. It's not gonna do the job for us, as many say, you know, like artificial intelligence is gonna kill the QAs, it's gonna kill the devs, it's already here, all panic and just run away. No, stop talking shit, because everything depends on how you view this stuff. And personally, I view this stuff. I view ChatGPT as an essential helper in my process, which can speed it up. We're also gonna go through a couple of valuable, truly valuable, not just theoretically described, but you know, truly valuable testing techniques that are really being used throughout the testing process. And we're gonna wrap this first part with the pyramid of testing levels. I mean the end-to-end testing, API testing, databases, components, all that stuff. We also go through the API testing with the Postman, and we will go through the UI testing, which is like, from my perspective, it's even more important than the backend, because everything related to frontend is basically everything or almost everything that your end users actually see. What's the point of having, you know, a fancy storage if your facade is broken? I don't see one. Maybe you do. And in the automation part, we're gonna go to an example website and we're gonna plan out some test cases, use the Playwright automation framework and TypeScript, JavaScript, TypeScript as the programming language for that stuff. And we're gonna cover some scenarios end to end, in real time, of course, so we can see how this shit's been set up and executed. Alright folks, I think this wraps it up perfectly, so let's start and see you around.
Access denied.